Welcome to the Migraine Miracle Moment. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Turknet. I'm a neurologist, migraine specialist, migraine sufferer, and author of the book, The Migraine Miracle. In this podcast, you'll learn all about how to find your path to migraine freedom without pills. Let's get started. Howdy, folks. Welcome again to the Migraine Miracle Moment. In this episode, I wanted to share with you a great win that was recently shared with us in our Migrai-Neverland Facebook group by Laura. And Laura wrote, "Hey friends, I wanted to share a win. I'm on day 49 of the Migraine Miracle Plan. I started off strong, having many pain-free days. Then the last couple of weeks, I was struggling with a weekly powerful beast, which I attribute largely to rebound. Of course, among many other smaller balloons. It was really knocking me down, and I was experiencing intense sugar cravings during those migraines. About 2 weeks ago, I committed to eating only from the superfoods list because I'd seen so many posts in this Facebook group where that was one of Jenny's recommendations for moving more successfully through the phases and out of rebound. So here's what has happened to me in the last 2 weeks. I've had several pain-free days, and on days when I've had auras and pain, I've noticed how mild it is, even if it lingers all day. And I've gone into the mindset that it's me versus the beast, and I know the beast is wanting sugar or wanting me to be sedentary, and I've used that mindset to help me hop on the stationary bike for 25 minutes or eat a bowl of eggs when I'd rather have a giant plate of veggies. I have found this to be so successful and plan to continue it for a total of 30 days to keep adding to my progress. The best part of the last couple weeks has actually been that I swear I can feel my body relieving its pain on its own now. Several times now I've had a migraine for several hours, implemented some of my new strategies, including fasting, exercising, salt water, steady breathing, mindset changes, superfoods list diet, and an hour or so later, I start to feel these, quote, medicines working, like the feeling you get when a triptan or over-the-counter drug kicks in and your pain begins to dissipate. It's the best feeling and really tells me that my body can heal and that I am healing because my natural painkillers in my brain are starting to do their job again after years and years of sleeping on shift. I'm so honored and grateful to be part of this community. I hope this is an encouragement to anyone out there who is having a rough go of it because some days are harder than others. And on those harder days, I think we all need extra encouragement from one another. So first, thanks so much to Laura for sharing this. I wanted to highlight it because it highlights a few really key points. One, how she's focusing on the next best step. So she mentions being in the process of recovering from rebound or the impact of prior abortive medications. And so using the resources available to her, she identified what she thought would be the next best thing, which was primarily committing to eating from our superfoods list, and has stuck with that. Now, on the one hand, it's fantastic to know that there are so many great things we can do to improve our health, protect ourselves from the beast, and get closer and closer to a life of migraine freedom. Things that your doctor probably has never mentioned or told you about. But sometimes when there are many things that we can do, it can also feel overwhelming and even paralyzing. And the key to avoiding overwhelm and avoiding paralysis by having many different options is to maintain focus on identifying and implementing simply the next best step. And that's a big part of the program and the resources that we provide, not only to help identify all the things that can help those of us with migraines get to where we want to go, but also to help determine what the next best step to implement is. And as you implement these things, and as you move through the phases of recovery, what the next best step is going to change. It's also going to change depending on your particular circumstances and background and so forth. One of the primary obstacles to being successful in any endeavor is getting overwhelmed. No. The second thing that stood out for me is how much she's embracing the holistic approach. Remember, the key difference between a holistic approach to health that's central to the Migraine Miracle Program is that our objective is to support, activate, and amplify our body's own ability to maintain health and to heal itself. And this is in direct contrast with the reductionist approach that characterizes much of modern medicine, where we prescribe drugs that are designed to disrupt or interfere with our own natural physiology. It's easy to forget that the natural wisdom of our own body, which is the product of millions of years of evolution, is still by far our greatest ally in maintaining our health and in fighting illness. And so our most effective and safest interventions are almost always going to be the things that leverage that natural wisdom by providing the body and the brain what it needs to thrive and to solve its own problems, rather than to say we know better and take a pill for everything, which, as you know, has the added impact of suppressing our body's natural wisdom and those natural mechanisms we have for maintaining health and fighting illness, which is why the abortive drugs so often worsen migraines over the long time, to have the perception that it will not go away without an abortive drug. And one of the biggest milestones that we've recognized, which you've heard multiple times if you've listened to the success story interviews, is when someone goes through a migraine without taking an abortive medication. As Laura said, quote, "It's the best feeling and really tells me that my body can heal and that I am healing because my natural painkillers in my brain are starting to do their job after years and years of sleeping on shift." It's pretty exhilarating feeling when you realize that you have the universe's best pharmacy inside of you, and it's really just a matter of understanding how to put it to work for you. And the last point that I wanted to highlight was her recognition of the value of community and connection. We will all encounter obstacles in any journey because this is real life. But it is so much easier when you have a group of people who know exactly what you're going through and who are implementing the same program and same course of action. We understand how important that element is, which is why we realized very early on we needed to build a community of people putting the Migraine Miracle Program into action, because that did not exist. And the need for this has become even more apparent during the pandemic, which isolated many of us more than ever. And that's also why we decided to add on regular live sessions with our Migrai-Neverland members as one of the features of the community. So that's something we now do twice a month. So thanks so much to Laura for sharing that win with us. If you want to learn more about becoming part of the Migrai-Neverland community, then head over to the website, mymigrainmiracle.com, and click on the resources tab. As I mentioned, joining the community includes now access to our live twice monthly clinic chat sessions on Zoom, as well as access to the entire archive of replays of prior sessions. And these live sessions are a mix of topical-based presentations that I give that have a Q&A session at the end, as well as just general question and answer sessions. So the last session that I did, which is now available as the replay, was on what migraineurs need to know about histamine intolerance. And prior sessions have included key nutrients for migraine protection, what you need to know about preventative medications, what you need to know about exercise and migraines as some of the topics. All right, so that's all for this episode. Now it's time to go out and slay the beast.